What is going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and I'm super excited because the Thunderbolt dogfights continue. I'm serious. That's how excited I am. I'm really, really excited. On one hand, you have the HTC ThunderBolt 4G device, Verizon's first 4G LTE device, 1 GHz Snapdragon processor, 4.3-inch display. You probably know the specs. 8 megapixel camera, front-facing camera, big display. I think I already covered that. Kickstand on the back. All in all, awesome feature-packed device. Then you have the iPhone 4, classic device. A lot of people love it. Very thin, beautiful build quality. A big one on both of these devices, app stores. App Store over here, Android Market over here. We'll take a look at both of these now. Both have pros and cons. The bigger one for me, the iPhone. Very frustrating that every time I have to enter my username and password, my iTunes username and password each time I want to download something. And once you get I didn't mean it like that. Once you download, let's say I downloaded Angry Birds, put in my password, waited 30 minutes, went back and downloaded something else, Tiny Wings, I would have to re-enter my password. So it's fine to do every now and again. I feel like it is too frequent. And the other frustration for me, once you download your applications, of course, updates will come in from time to time. When you download the updates, you have to put in your password as well. So I guess I kind of get it for the applications up here, but come on, updates, really, it's not necessary to enter your password. The Android market, in my opinion, this one looks better overall and is more fluid. You can see Angry Birds, see the description, see the screenshots, and you can see the ratings. I do find this one to be very functional as well. We'll go to all applications, go to top free, and click on just Google Maps, for example, and bring up the description, the updates, my review, description up here. And then you can see, so they made some improvements to this as well. Screenshots, sharing, reviews, similar programs, developer info. And then once I open it, if that said download, it would bring up those typical warnings right here. You sure you want to download this? This is a location-based service app. And then you can allow automatic updating in Android. Big perk for me because once you check that, it automatically updates as it says. So as if that wasn't obvious. But it does download as soon as an update comes in, whereas with this, you get this kind of obnoxious red circular thing down here that's like 6 updates in your face, and it stays there until you update those. So sometimes I look at this and I'm like, this one is really, really cool in a lot of ways. Great media ecosystem, but you look at that, there's no ability to remove that 6, or like the AT&T One, for example, until you actually check it. So I wish there was some way like this where I can see the notifications and click clear, and they're gone. So, like I said, the notification system isn't intuitive at all on iOS, at least yet. Hopefully in iOS 5, we'll see something a little bit better, at least in maybe a later version of iOS 4. We'll see. But I happen to like, there are pros and cons to both. Now, out of the box, where Android really fails and iOS really delivers, the media ecosystem. Out of the box, just like an iPod, within 5 minutes, iTunes comes pre-installed on this. Once I throw in my Apple ID and password, I can start downloading music, either over 3G or over Wi-Fi. So the media ecosystem, second to none on this device. Android really doesn't have a comparable option over here. There are programs in the Android market, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying out of the box, combined with iTunes, makes this by far the best media device on the market, in my opinion. So, keep that in mind. If media is your thing, you're probably going to want to look at this. If apps and Gmail compatibility is your thing, you're probably going to want to look at that. So, stuff to keep in mind, but the media ecosystem by far better in iOS. So 8 megapixel camera over here, 5 megapixel camera over here, but I'm going to go ahead and spoil it and say that in my opinion the iPhone still has by far the best camera. Not only does it have HDR capabilities, but just beautiful, beautiful picture quality. Let's bring over the Nokia Astound as an example, and we'll turn that on so we can see there, and we'll take it with the iPhone first. Let's see, we'll do the Nokia logo. We'll do that. Okay. So certainly very good. Oh, let me get that one back. Certainly very good on both of these devices. Let me unlock that again. Okay, there we go. Certainly very good on both devices, but I would have to give the win definitely to the iPhone. Let me go back in here so you can get that. There we go. Just more clear. You notice the earpiece, for example, more clear, more real color to it. The green's a little washed out on the Thunderbolt, whereas it is more realistic on the iPhone 4. So I'd have to give it, pretty, I wouldn't say narrow, but I wouldn't say long range, but I'd certainly have to give it to the Nokia, or excuse me, the iPhone 4 as opposed to the HTC Thunderbolt. Certainly good. I wouldn't make your decision just based on the camera. Both of these are fantastic. Both have front-facing cameras as well. For video calling, this one does not have Skype support out of the box, at least right yet, but it does have Tango, Quick. There are a couple different options you can download from the Android market, so be sure to get on those if that's something you're interested in. Obviously, this uses FaceTime. You do have to connect via Wi-Fi if that's something you want to use. So there's the typical workaround where you can connect with a mobile hotspot and use that. So it does require Wi-Fi though. Let's take a look at speed test because we want to see the network speeds on both of these devices. Now keep in mind, speed test isn't really enabled for 4G LTE just yet. It can't really read the speeds. It can read the speeds on the download for the most part from what I've been told, but it can't read the speeds on the upload. So you're going to see a pretty high, pretty obnoxiously high upload speed. Don't read into that. It's really the download speed that counts. I've been connecting and using this as a mobile hotspot. I've seen average download speeds between about 7 and 12 with bursts of up to 18, 19, 20. And then I've seen download speeds here, like I said, between 2 and 3.5 megabits per second. Upload, 0.5 to 1.5. So to keep in mind. Let me see here. Let me get this on Charlotte. Okay, for whatever reason, I couldn't get them to lock on the Charlotte server, so I've switched both over to Atlanta, so it's a fair test. They're operating off the same server. I don't know why it's not picking up Charlotte. I don't know. It's North Carolina. What else, you expect? Anyway, both of these are locked on the same server, so let's do a test here. We'll restart these just to see what it is. And like I said, I hate to spoil the fun, but the Verizon one's going to come in much faster. Looks like it's going to be about 8 megabits per second on the download, and then some crazy number. Don't believe the upload speed. That's not correct. It's between about 5 and, well, no, I'd say 3 to 6 megabits per second. 7.95 megabits per second on the download. Download here, for whatever reason, is unusually slow. 0.90 megabits per second. That said, it is 4:45. The cell site is right across the street, but this is rush hour, so something to keep in mind. It usually averages between 2 and 3.5 megabits per second. Upload a little bit faster, 1.17 megabits per second. Now, it comes to the end of the dogfight. One has to be declared the winner, and overall, I'm going to have to declare the winner the HTC Thunderbolt. It's a close call because this is the ultimate consumer device. If for 60% of people that ask me which one's the best device for them, I'm going to say the iPhone 4. Media buff, iPhone 4. Web browsing experience, iPhone 4. That said, I think things like the notification system puts it a little bit behind versus where it was in 07 and 08, not in the network speeds on the Thunderbolt are absolutely fantastic. It does have its flaws, terrible battery life, oddly intermittent, data speeds from time to time, but I think overall there's more long-term availability or more long-term potential in this device as opposed to the iPhone 4. Now, let's say the next iPhone comes out, or if this was, flashback to August and both of these devices were new, I may go with the iPhone 4, but at this point I think the Thunderbolt is between these two slightly better, but I don't think you could go wrong really with either one. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage. HTC Thunderbolt, iPhone 4. Aaron from PhoneDog.com, who's super awesome, but I think I'm a little bit biased on that. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're giving away a ton of stuff as part of our Colossal iPad 2 and smartphone sweepstakes. We do giveaways every Tuesday, Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Head over to PhoneDog.com for information on how to enter that. And be sure to follow me on Twitter as well, PhoneDog_Aaron, with questions, thoughts, comments. You think the iPhone should have won? You think the Thunderbolt's the best? Hey, let me know. PhoneDog_Aaron. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.